Destiny Rising has some pretty crazy lore. An Iron Lord with an Ahamkara, a giant sentinel machine that roams the lands and protects what remains of humanity. Although Rising's story is not considered canon, today we take a look at some of these stories and characters. Let's first begin with the world. In-game, there are many different lore entries, so let's see what it says about this version of the Golden Age, Collapse, and Dark Age. In the millennia following the arrival of the Traveler in Seoul, humanity's technological levels rose to unprecedented heights. Driven and even taught by the Traveler, government agencies, private organizations, and private enterprises alike developed and produced a variety of miraculous technologies, and breakthroughs of different theories were being made daily. All terraformed planets in Seoul had been colonized, and plans for colonization of other galaxies were underway. However, all of this came to a screeching halt with the collapse. So all Golden Ages are pretty much the same, a time where humanity prospers as a species on their planet and also in these technological achievements. What's interesting to me though is that it speaks about the colonization not just of all planets in our system, but even plans to venture to other galaxies. In the mainline Destiny stories, we know humans have ventured out past Earth. Many different places in our system were colonized. Think about Neptune and Neomuna, Mars, Titan, characters on Io, and Venus. But when you really think about it, there were some operations from Clovis Bray and Ishtar like Soteria to try and reach other galaxies, but that never really happened as far as we know. It couldn't frontiers. It also speaks that the Traveler taught humanity things. Now I'm not sure if this was more in a direct way or more in the fact that it just gave them gifts like the light and some of these technologies. For hundreds of years, humankind enjoyed the Golden Age brought by the Traveler. What they did not know was that such prosperity would not last forever. The Collapse's arrival was sudden, as was its end. By the time it concluded, human civilization had been almost completely destroyed. After the Collapse, the Traveler fell into a long hibernation. At this time, human civilization had been nearly wiped out. The old order no longer existed and was instead replaced by the laws of the jungle, where the strong prey on the weak. Violent conflicts over the few remaining resources frequently erupted among the survivors. It was a time of disorder filled with killing, looting, slavery, and death. For the almost immortal Lightbearer warlords, their time had come. Lightbearers are individuals resurrected by ghosts who possess the power of the light. They are able to wield electrical, thermal, and gravitational forces with their flesh and blood. What's more, as long as their ghosts still exist, Lightbearers who fall in battle can be revived, rendering them almost immortal. However, for some unknown reason, when a Lightbearer is revived, they will not retain the memories of their previous life. Very few Lightbearers learn about their past identity, though those who do may wish they hadn't.
You, my chosen. You were dead, and I brought you back. I'm your ghost. I'm made of light, and you were made to wield it.
The Traveler is a spherical paracausal entity beyond the comprehension of any mortal. It is the creator of the ghosts, the source of the Lightbearer's light. The Traveler arrived in Seoul millennia ago and enlightened the human race, leading to technological marvels and humanity's golden age. It is said that the Traveler had also blessed countless alien civilizations before arriving in Seoul, chief among them being the fallen Elixni. But what is the Traveler's purpose? No one knows for sure. Another interesting thing with Destiny Rising is the Tree of Light, which is also found around Haven and the Traveler. In Destiny, we've seen the Tree of Silver Wings before many different locations like on Io and even in the raids in Lightfall, and it clearly has to do with the connection between light and dark, so let's see what this says. After it fell into hibernation, the light of the traveler was gradually cast down in its massive form, flowing from the cracks in its shell and extending to Earth's surface. It penetrated the Earth's crust, spread over the continents, and intermingled with the plants, sprouting giant trees of light. The land around these trees, having been irrigated by the light of the traveler, is overwhelmed by life and vitality. During the Dark Age, the areas where the trees of light take root are often the battlegrounds where the Lightbearer warlords clashed most fiercely. In the Dark Age, the warlords ruled their territories with violence and an iron fist. Many mortals not only had to endure servitude to them, but also served as cannon fodder for their violent conflicts. Human civilization was treading a path to total extinction, until a group of Lightbearers decided to step forward and end the despair. Led by Radagast, the Iron Lords gathered under the Iron Banner and vowed to end the barbaric rule of the warlords and revive human civilization. So this is pretty similar to the Iron Lords we have in Destiny. They too did form to weed out those ruthless warlords and take back parts of ruined Earth, eventually helping to form the city. In Rising's version of the story, Radagast is the leader. Chief Iron Lord, Dragon Keeper, Lord of Haven, Enemy of Tyranny, Liberator. Radagast has many prestigious titles, and he has also proven time and time again with his strength that he deserves them. Ever since he raised the Iron Banner and created the Iron Lords, he had been dedicated to one goal: bringing human civilization back to its glory days by any means necessary. Now Radagast takes command of Haven, welcoming all like-minded Lightbearers to join his cause. One thing I found very intriguing when playing through the first couple of hours was something called the Sentinels. When you're on the back of Radagast's Sparrow, you find one of these roaming out in the wilds, one of the last known Sentinels. And in the story mission, you venture toward a downed Sentinel where you can find a giant hammer. One of mankind's incredible Golden Age creations. Takatori Industry, a Golden Age industry leading in mechanical engineering, built these giant robots. These self-propelled weapon platforms are hundreds of meters in height and measure tens of thousands of tons. They are powered by several light cores and can be loaded with experimental, cutting-edge weapons ranging from traditional artillery, missiles, and lasers to their thermofusion, antimatter, and sonic waves. Each Sentinel possesses a destructive power unimaginable to the common human. Although the Sentinels do not speak, it is said that each of them has a consciousness of its own. They independently identified targets that may threaten human civilization and rooted them out, many of which were the Ahamkara. However, when the collapse came, not even the Sentinels could escape. They gradually collapsed in a paracausal catastrophe that ravaged the globe, leaving only their wreckage. The Sentinel roaming near Haven is believed to be the only one that survived the collapse.
What's this? That's a Sentinel, protecting humanity just as it always has. We're lucky to have it on our side.
Most Sentinels are gone. All that's left is wreckage and remnants like the giant hammer near Haven. And now, the enemies of humanity are growing stronger. We need heroes more than ever. We must be getting close. Whoa. Breathtaking. You know, you've made astounding progress, Wolf.
Destiny Rising also has Ahamkara both in their story and also seen in the alpha. Powerful, magical, shape-shifting creatures. They possessed an incredible and unique ability to manipulate reality and fulfill other beings' wishes through the anthem Anatheme. Doing so grants the Ahamkara the spiritual energy they need to survive. However, the trade comes at a price. While the wishes are indeed granted, they are accompanied by unintended consequences, usually something the Wishmaker would prefer not to encounter. In the story so far, as we're escaping on a pike with Radagast and shooting at an enemy, we aren't able to escape, thus Radagast makes a wish to his Ahamkara Morgren.
Morgren! Morgren!
Lord Radagast, should you revoke my restriction?
Just this once.
Oh Lord mine, speak your wit.
I wish that machine following us would vanish! Where did you make that thing go?
Disappear. That is the Lord's wish. Beyond that is none of my concern.
The power of a wish is never given for free, and a price is always exacted. I only hope that all this was worth it.
Morgren is a young Ahamkara dwelling in Haven. In a coincidental encounter, Radagast found a newly hatched Ahamkara in the Red Sea Rift. Faced with Morgren's powerful yet unstable abilities, Radagast came up with a solution called Morgren's Prey, which would allow Morgren to gain the wish power needed to grow without the risk of losing control. Under Radagast's care, Morgren continues to thrive and grow strong, and he tries his hardest to use his power to aid the Iron Lords.
It's too risky to send anyone in.
Who better to be the forerunner than Wolf?
Very well. The hunt shall commence. But if I sense anything suspicious, the trial stops.
Welcome to my domain, where your endless dreams may be made true. My words can bring the impossible to reality. You need but have the strength of heart to burn your desire into the surface of reality. A fallen heirloom, forgotten by time. Chasing it alone poses risks. I'll send you back for now.
Within Haven, you can find the Archive, which is sort of where they keep all of their lore. A building in Haven that keeps historical, geographic, and cultural information. Back in Eastern Europe, Radagast had instructed his men to collect and archive information that might seem worthless to other warlords. Following the establishment of Haven, a facility was built to keep such files. In Radagast's view, the preservation of past and present knowledge is far more important than territories, armaments, and power if one means to revive human civilization. Xur and the Nine are also back in Destiny Rising. After following some strange signals through Haven, you enter a temporal rift and enter activities of the Nine. With a face of dancing tentacles and a misty black substance atop a humanoid form that seems just barely held together by his clothes, Xur is an entity that is almost impossible to comprehend with conventional biological knowledge. No one knows precisely when he appeared in Haven. In the extremely limited communications with him, he has claimed to serve a group of entities called the Nine, and has come to Haven in search of Lightbearers to take part in certain challenges. But what exactly are the Nine? This remains a mystery, perhaps even to Xur himself. The Nine created a special place and sent out a mysterious emissary to invite Lightbearers. They are unlikely to be Earth-based entities and have never revealed their true identities. Their existence seems to transcend the limits of time and space. They show a strong interest in the Lightbearers, but what exactly are they, and what is their purpose? No one knows for sure. What we do know is that Xur invites us to the realm of the Nine to take part in various activities. This realm was shaped using sights from the real world, with the Nine forcefully sweeping some real-world objects inside on occasion, letting them observe and study. While the Nine cannot visit our world, they have sent an agent to invite Lightbearers into theirs, and even host challenges with unimaginable rewards. So as you'd expect, like Destiny's 9, the Nine and Rising are still a mystery, Xur speaking his usual lines about them.
am an agent of the Nine. May we speak?
What is all this?
I mean no harm. Those I serve have a challenge for you. Your will is your own, but the cosmic armory of the Nine is vast. Prove your worth here. And solutions to worldly struggles may present themselves.
And what about you? Did they make it worth your while?
My will is not my own.
And lastly, let's talk about the patrol location in the Alpha called the Jiangxi Metro. In the Golden Age, trains coming from all directions or passing through Jiangxi Metro converged here. Among them were freight trains in support of the Lanyu program, and passenger trains with travelers who came to visit the aeronautic campus, or transit here to migrate to other planets via colony ships. In its prime, it was a tall building with transportation tracks cascading from the ground to the air at heights of hundreds of meters, connecting the aeronautic campus, the city, the outskirts housing the space elevator, the spacecraft launch and landing site, and many other places. Jiangxi Metro was one of the world's main communication hubs. The collapse destroyed most creations of human civilization, and Jiangxi Metro is no exception. But when the disaster receded and humanity reclaimed the land, Jiangxi Metro was one of the first areas people set their eyes on, as the stranded freight trains that once supplied the nearby Golden Age facilities still held many valuable resources. It has remained an area of frequent human activity ever since. When the full-scale invasion of the Fallen began, the guerrillas of Jiangxi Metro were caught off guard. Their positions were lost one after another, and for a time the humans only controlled a small area near the metro itself, and their communications with the other regions were cut off. The first wave of Fallen attacks were eventually stopped, though it cost the lives of the Iron Lady and her squad, and the guerrillas regained much of their territory. Since then, Jiangxi Metro has served as the guerrillas' base of operations. So Guardians, there you have some story of Destiny Rising, some of the main parts of the world, and some more small parts like characters like Morgan the Ahamkara. I am going to cover the story of this game at some point, but there's only so much in the alpha. If you'd like to see another video about all the main Lightbearers you can play, I might discuss their lore in a future video. And if you'd like to see some more Destiny universe lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.